The time is exactly 10 o'clock South African time, and we are now going to be crossing over to the UK. I think she's based in Scotland. Dr. Yvonne Ridley is a veteran journalist and, of course, a friend of us here at Salam Media. We talk with her on a regular basis, and this time around, we're going to talk to her about hopefully. Um, if hopefully the release of Aafia Siddiqui. She has been incarcerated in a prison in the United States, and for a long while, people all around the world, activists and people like Yvonne Ridley and here at Salam Media, have been calling for her release. We believe that the US has, in cahoots with the then Pakistani government, had trumped up charges against Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, and she has been imprisoned for almost 10 years, if not longer, and her imprisonment is supposed to be for 85 years. We've spoken with her sister from time to time, Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, and she's kept us abreast of developments. The one thing we can say is that Dr. Aafia Siddiqui's um, health has deteriorated over the years very, very badly due to sexual abuse and a whole host of other abuses. But let's talk now with Dr. Yvonne Ridley. As I've indicated, a friend of ours here at Salam Media. She is a veteran journalist in her own right and also very passionate about the Free Dr. Aafia Siddiqui campaign. Yvonne Ridley, Salaam Alaikum, morning and welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam, Julie. Great to see you.
Once again, yes, lovely talking with you. I absolutely enjoy our conversations. This time around, on a very, very serious note, not that our previous conversations have not been of a serious nature. But the story around Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, we do know what the geopolitical climate looks like, the shifting dynamics, not only in the US, but globally. Would this possibly be an opportunity for advocating for the release of Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, both from a humanitarian and diplomatic standpoint of view?
Well, I don't want to raise false hopes, but I truly believe that the stars are aligning and that we might see justice finally delivered for Aafia Siddiqui. A lot hinges on the Americans. And as you know, there's a lot going on in Washington at the moment. There are peace talks that are inching their way to a good outcome in Washington between the Palestinians and Israel. So lots going on. And while all of the Middle East crisis has been unpicked in Doha, a couple of days ago, according to what I know, is that Clive Stafford Smith, Aafia's lawyer, might be tantalizingly close to securing her release. He is in Washington at the moment with Fawzia Siddiqui, the amazing sister of Aafia, who has been fighting relentlessly for her sister's release. Now, the two of them have been meeting with members of the US Congress. They have in their pockets, thanks to your viewers, listeners, and many like you, more than 1 million signatures urging clemency for Aafia. Of course, this all hinges on the mood of President Biden. And if he agrees to clemency and a presidential pardon, then we could see Aafia being released. Clive sent out a tweet yesterday to the foreign ministry in Pakistan saying, if this goes ahead, are you ready? Have you processed her travel papers? So this is how tantalizingly close we are. Pressure has been put on the Pakistan government to, for once, stand up and speak up for Aafia. Her lawyer is in America with this 1 million signature petition with Aafia Siddiqui. And the climate is just right at the moment for President Biden to issue a presidential pardon. And
So, Yvonne,
all we can do now, and I
is
would urge
pray.
everyone, is pray.
Absolutely. This is the done thing, is it not? An outgoing president would grant clemency to certain classes of prisoners. In my opening, I had indicated that the charges brought up against Aafia, Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, were really all fabricated. What do you believe the American government gained by having imprisoned her so unfairly and put her through the horrendous torture and trauma that she has suffered, given that she wasn't a mere peasant off the streets of Pakistan or Afghanistan? Because from Pakistan, she was taken to Afghanistan and then transferred to the United States. She was a highly educated woman who had so much to contribute to society as a whole. Do we understand what was at play here? What were these games that the two governments were playing? Who or what was she traded off against?
Well, we're hoping that that the Americans release her so they can avoid a very humiliating legal process which will be rolled out by her lawyer, Clive Stafford Smith. He's really turbocharged at the moment. Since the liberation of Afghanistan, both he and brother Moazzam Beg have gone into Ghazni, the area where Aafia was arrested and shot and all the drama happened. And they have uncovered some startling facts. And this would really be very humiliating for the American government. Now, then, I don't think that they will want to go down the route of having to go to court and answer some very embarrassing questions. Let's not forget that Aafia's two surviving children, we still don't know the fate of Suleiman the baby, but two of Aafia's children, Mohammed and Miriam, are both US citizens. And this is very important when it comes to legal challenges. And what those children have been put through by America is astonishing. Mariam, for instance, was when she was taken along with her mother and siblings, she was handed over to an evangelical American Christian couple who were working in Afghanistan during the occupation. And they changed her name to Fatima and adopted her. Presumably, the Americans thought this child would be better off with a white Christian couple than hand her over to her family. And Clive Stafford Smith has a Pandora's box full of evidence that will be humiliating to the FBI, the CIA, the whole of the US intelligence community. And it's a box they really would be foolish to let open.
So,
So I myself have reported a crime of perjury to the FBI, and I believe that one of their federal agents, a Pakistan-born woman who's now living in New York, I believe she committed perjury uh, over Aafia's case. And so the net is closing in, and it would be wise for the Americans to see that Biden gives her a pardon. It's within his gift. There are about 6 days left before Trump gets into power. We don't really want to get to a situation where we're relying on Trump. But Trump is big on figures, and 1 million signatures is something that will impress him. So, as I
absolutely.
say, the stars are aligning at the moment. There's also another opportunity for Aafia to be possibly handed over in an exchange for two
Sorry.
American prisoners who are in the hands of the Taliban at the moment. And
So,
there were, as my understanding is, negotiations going on to release Mohammed Afghani from Guantanamo and exchange him for these two American prisoners that are in the custody of the Taliban. So that might just change to Mohammed Afghani and Dr. Aafia Siddiqui. So
those,
there's two
the,
options going on. And I do know that all the negotiations, along with the Middle East negotiations, have been taking place in Qatar. And I do know that Qatar has been working on the release of Dr. Aafia Siddiqui for some years now. So, as I say, all we can do at home is pray for Aafia.
Okay, Yvonne, I have two or three very important questions. Given the nature or how we see Donald Trump, worst case scenario, Biden doesn't grant clemency to Dr. Aafia Siddiqui. What do you suppose Donald Trump will then make of that particular case should he come? Well, when he takes over the presidency, he hasn't done anything in his previous term of office. Do you think he might have a change of heart regarding this particular case? Question number one. Question number two, how safe would Dr. Afia Siddiqui be, to go back to Pakistan? Because up to this point in time, the Pakistani government was not particularly interested in her situation or in her case. So one wonders what was the reason for their disinterest, and they never ever intervened on behalf of the family or Afia Siddiqui directly. And they've had change of governments during her term in prison. So if the one government didn't speak on her behalf, surely the subsequent governments should have. So I think those are questions that one wonders about. And last but not least, she has quite a story to tell, and it would implicate a whole host of people globally, top government officials. Would she then, if they do release her, be made to sign some sort of a confidentiality clause, not to go on and perhaps write a book or a memoir or share her experience with the rest of the world?
Well, we can't trust the Pakistan government, and it breaks my heart to say that. And the last place that Aafia should go, God willing, should she be released, is Pakistan. I think that work is being done at the moment to have her given a new home, somewhere she can be safe and somewhere she can be secure. And unfortunately, in the current climate, with the spineless government in charge, being run by the duplicitous, treacherous military, it's not safe for Aafia to go back to Pakistan. And all those men in the military who were responsible for Aafia's kidnap, detention, torture, rape, abuse, all of that, the Pakistan military is responsible. And not satisfied with that, there's absolutely no humility there. There's no chance of them saying sorry, but there's every chance of them trying to kill her. She is not safe going back to Pakistan. And that is an utter disgrace on the Pakistan government. And, it's they've got Imran Khan in prison,
Absolutely.
their version of Nelson Mandela. And until Imran is released, Pakistan is not a safe country for Aafia. It's not even safe for the former leader of Pakistan.
Absolutely.
We keep hearing terrible stories coming out of the prison. But like the American intelligence community, Clive Stafford Smith has a Pandora's box. We have a photograph of the ISI officer in Afghanistan who tried to create the situation where Aafia was going to be killed. And all these photographs, all these identities, the Pakistan FBI agent, the whole lot of them will be named and shamed. And their photographs, as I say, there's a Pandora's box. Do the authorities really want this box opened? Because I'm sure that Clive Stafford Smith will be more than happy. Otherwise, just release her into the hands of her family and lawyer in Washington, and then I'm sure that they'll walk away. Signing a non-disclosure agreement, well, the story is more or less out there now, but all the dots have yet to be joined together.
Okay, Yvonne,
So,
I'd like to wrap up. I've come across a post by someone called, all right, her handle is at Miriam Istan. The name Miriam Istan, Miriam Suleiman Kill. This is what she says, and I'd like your comments on it. Certain groups are starting debates about freeing Aafia Siddiqui, a convicted terrorist known as the Lady of Al Qaeda, the same ideology that turned Afghanistan into a prison for women. As an Afghan woman, I've seen the horrors of her extremism: schools burned, girls silenced, women erased. Her release would empower the same monsters who destroy my people daily. You want to free her? Then stop pretending to care about justice, human rights, or peace. She is a dark stain on Muslims. Your thoughts?
Well, it sounds like a classic tweet from someone in the ISI. Um, it's also someone who is coming from a point of ignorance. During Aafia's trial, the Mickey Mouse trial that was held in New York, the first thing the prosecution said, the very first thing, the opening statement was, "This woman is not Al Qaeda." So, you know, if the Americans are saying that, and if Aafia Siddiqui was the woman portrayed in that ridiculous nonsense by this Mariam woman, she would have been facing terrorist charges. So, you know, that is a stuff of nonsense. And I just hope, well, it sounds like a classic ISI tweet, using a woman to attack a woman. You know,
Mm.
these are the cowardly tactics of the men in the military in Pakistan.
Okay, and the men in military all around the world, might I add. We're going to have to wrap up there uh, with uh, with a deep, deep, deep conviction and prayer in our hearts, our minds, our lips, that finally Aafia Siddiqui is, in fact, granted clemency by Joe Biden. Um, Undoubtedly, you and I are going to talk some more about this in the coming days once her imminent release has been announced. So, thank you for flying that flag as high as you possibly can, for being a human rights activist, and such a pleasure to talk to whenever we need to talk on air. Yvonne Ridley, stay safe. God bless, and salamu alaikum to you.
Walaikum salam. Take care, Julie. Thank you.
And there you have it, Yvonne Ridley, Dr. Yvonne Ridley, a veteran journalist, been on this show over and over and over again. She also visited South Africa a couple of times over the past years. What a pleasure, what a remarkable woman. What deep insight she has, not only on issues of I guess, politics and terrorism and all other such matters, but also a deep understanding on Islam. And she herself, Alhamdulillah, is a revered Muslimah. So wonderful talking with her. Thank you indeed for your time this morning on the show. With fingers crossed and with a deep prayer in our hearts and our lips for the release of Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, I need to wrap up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching and listening. Till the next time, which is Monday morning, stay safe and guard yourselves on those very slippery roads here in Gauteng. Assalamu alaikum and Khuda Hafiz from me, Julie Ali.